The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. What's happening, Octo Nation? We're going to take a look at a battery metals play, all American batteries, metals. These guys recycle batteries. This is kind of a cool supplemental play. It's ones where you're going to make money on Tesla, Fisker, if he ever gets done with his vehicle, Canoe, Workhorse, all of them, right? They take the batteries. I don't know if they got to buy them from the companies. I'm sure they do. But once they get them, they can somehow recycle them. I don't know if they just rejuice them up or they just take the nickel out and the silver out or whatever they got to do. Regardless, it's kind of a cool play. I want to dive in. I've actually been meaning to do a video on this for, I don't know, a month or something. It's time to finally get it out. We're getting some heavy movement on it, and I can still see it still slamming. So who are they? Ticker ABML on the OTC, so you're not going to be able to get this on some smaller brokers. You're going to have big boy, big mama broker. Is engaged in lithium-ion battery recycling, the battery metals and material extraction, and resource production. We are leading the US-based battery metals company producing low-cost battery metals with a sustainable commitment to closed-loop energy technologies. ABTC delivers long-term shareholder value by focusing on growth of our core assets and technologies. Pretty cool if you ask me. So it seems to me they're saying they produce low-cost battery metals. I don't know if they're saying that they actually own like mining camp things or they produce them by extracting the nickel and then combining all the nickel and selling that nickel back to Tesla or Fisker. Kind of interesting. On Twitter, Mr. Daniel Harrington wrote me today. I'm glad. He reminded me, he said, are you looking at ABML at the moment? Jacob Miller, former senior design engineer at Tesla, who worked on the Gigafactory project, is there. So you've got Tesla connections there. Currently building a lithium recycling plant 21 miles away from the Giga 1 in Nevada. I'm sure they're going to be the recycler for them, which is fantastic. He also said it's a phenomenal eco play, green ESG play. Recycling lithium batteries is going to be a huge industry with the EV taking off. I totally agree. EVs still only have a tiny bit of the market. Just wait with all these new rules and regulations, it's going to fly. People think EV is going to pop. When? EV might pop when something comes out to replace it. But EV is the new gasoline, whether you like it or not. Up 50% in 2 days, but trading still only at 34 cents. Right, so like I said, we've had some serious movement coming on. I don't see why there wouldn't be more movement. It's only sitting at 34 cents. That's a huge catalyst without even looking at the amount of float or shares out there, because other people see that 34 cents and no matter what, they think it's cheap. I think it should multiply just because it's at 34 cents. People think it's cheap. I don't even know. I haven't looked at the shares outstanding, but it doesn't matter. As a low grad who failed science GSE, I'm so glad this guy stepped in for a bit. Thank you. So what is he referring to? Mr. Ben Batteries Photonics on Twitter. You should come follow him here. Both the guys are great. He said, I just made this today. And what is this? This is some information about them. This is great. So we're going to use that. We're going to run through his notes and the due diligence he's done and the work he's went through. So thank you for that. If you want to give him a call, you can call his cell phone number at 651-555-6499, only available on weekends past 9 p.m. Investment thesis for American battery technology, disrupting the battery recycling by delivering 100% green recycling for closed loop life cycles. Of course, we know that the industry is going to be growing. We've already gone past that. The batteries reach the end of their lives. Doesn't mean that they can't automatically become available for recycling. In fact, only about 50% of the batteries that reach end of life find their way to recyclers around the world. Have you ever noticed, I mean, for at least a decade, when you go to Home Depot, they have a stand right up front that says, recycle your batteries here. And you can put your laptop batteries in there or regular batteries. Do you know where those go? Does anyone know where those go? They sell them to China. There's been a big loop of recycling that has to even go to China. China will buy used batteries in bulk for super cheap and recycle them. How to recycle them? There's lots of ways they do it. Some are kind of shady. Might put a different wrapper on the outside of them. What do you think? The United States will be able to instead stockpile critical minerals in order to secure our place on the global stage as a resource independent. By recycling rare earth metals, the supply chain becomes secured inside the United States. So that's what they're doing. They're taking the nickel out, the lithium out. They can actually just rip it out and stockpile it. This is like a mining play without owning a mine. You just take all the batteries. ABTC has developed strategic partnerships with BASF. ABTC was the sole winner of BASF's Circular Challenge. This was a global competition where they challenged companies throughout the world to develop new innovative technologies that for the recycling of large format lithium ion batteries. They've been exploring several avenues, working together to accelerate the commercialization of the lithium battery recycling technology. They have been in the Greenstown lab for over a year developing the recycling technology, which is certified battery grade from BASF. What does this mean? Some big boys are saying they're certified, they agree with what they're doing, and they're one of the top dogs. Fantastic. All good. Technology and community company targeting critical mineral production from both recycled and virgin sources. I wonder if eventually the government will not only take over, nationalize, let's call it, some mines, some companies like this. I think that America could. It's kind of communistic, but it's also a protection thing, right? It's always in the name of safety, but I think it'd be really smart for America to own some companies like this. Because we've talked about it many times before, but China, anything pulled out of China or developed out of China, any rare earth metals, is owned by the government. It's communistic, but they own the supply. They also buy miners around the United States, Canada. China will come in and swoop up and buy them up. You know, they're smart with that. We kind of need to do some of that. We need to nationalize at least some mines, not all. What I'm getting at is I bet you there's some tax dollar revenues that can come to these people for being in this sector. I could see that happening with some of the new crazy bills coming out. That or the government can come and buy this company, something like that. ABTC has developed a universal lithium-ion battery recycling system. Their ability to recycle a wide range of batteries from packs, modules, cells, prismatic cells, pouch cells, defective and intermediate waste cells, scrap metals, slurries, powders. Whatever you got, bring it on down. We got your back. The process also accepts various cathode chemistries: cobalt, nickel, aluminium, cobalt, aluminum oxide, lithiate nickel oxide, and lithiated manganese oxide. Everything sounds like to me. The throughput of the system is very fast, which leads to a high output of total batteries recycled 3 hours from beginning to end, which is incredible. We've talked about leach pads before. I don't know how long those leach pads have to sit. I'm guessing about a month or 2 or 3 for just regular metals getting pulled out of rock. For miners, miners will just get heavy gross of rock, set it in the leach pad, pour acid and salts on it for a extended period of time, and hopefully get the gold or silver or whatever out of it. But these guys are saying out of batteries, they can in 3 hours pull everything out separated. I think that's pretty neat. The owners within the Clayton Valley area of central Nevada to analyze the characteristic sample materials from the various locations. They have been performing bench scale trials and developed first-of-kind selective leaching process for low-cost extraction of lithium from these claystone resources. ABTC is considered submitting an initial provisional patent application for this technology. Man, if they can get a patent on that, that'd be huge. Like I said, usually it's a form of an acid or a lye, like a salt. Be interesting to kind of dive in and see exactly how they're doing it. It says here that they've been working with several lithium-rich resource owners in the Clayton Valley area of central Nevada. So to me, it sounds like they might end up selling that technology to other miners. That'd be a play. Or they might end up buying some of these mines in Nevada because they have a way to pull the metals they want out faster and better and less expensive. Great. Their exploration efforts are currently focused in the sampling and characterization of its 647 placer mining claims. I guess they do. Consisting of lithium-bearing brine and claystone sedimentary resources in the western Nevada Basin. Okay, well, that's super sweet. Already first year of 20,000 T of battery recycling. 20,000 tons, I'm guessing. 20,000 tons of battery recycling. That's pretty big. $160 million based off of today's critical mineral prices. 80% EBITDA after phase 2. Initial pilot plant to cost $15 million for the phase 1 revenues at $3,500 a ton. Phase 2 will cost a further $15 million to $8,000 a ton. Company plans on scaling 200,000 tons annual plants. Commercial pilot plant revenue going to keep going up. They do have 473 million shares outstanding, which is not low. It's not crazy high, but it's pretty high for something like this. But I wouldn't call it bad, you know. I wish it was only 20 million, but it is what it is. Regardless, I still think this thing could end up running. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for putting this together for us. Got some news, though, some news that just came out 2 days ago. American Battery Metals Corporation reaches critical milestones. American-owned technology, advanced extraction in Nevada, which processed, opening the battery cycle plant, and Over the past 3 months, ABC has achieved 3 critical milestones that enable the company to move ahead in permitting, construction, and commissioning its pilot lithium-ion battery recycling plant in Fernley, Nevada. Fernley? Anyone got an aunt named Fernley? So what they do, they purchase the pilot factory land, 12.44 acres. There's the address. Want to check it out? They secured water rights. Y'all might realize that's a pretty important thing. You need that for mining. Not only for the miners that are sweating, but you need it for washing stuff, keeping dust down. They hired design, build, a construction firm, finalize its permitting process of the city. It will announce updated permitting and construction timelines in early 2021. This is one of those ones that I could just see. If you just kept this for like 2 years, you could do very, very well on it. They're making great strides to construct our pilot lithium-ion battery recycling facility. We are grateful for Nevada's support to do it. At full capacity, our pilot facility will recycle 20,000 tons. It's going to be great. The CEO is saying, ticker, where we at? Where we at on the ticker? It's done pretty well. Beginning into September, it was like 1 cent. I'm sorry, 10 cents. And we've broken 3 cents. Now sitting at 33 cents. So, it's 3x'd. It's 3x'd in about 3-ish months. Pretty incredible. But again, people are always going to be looking at anything under $1 and thinking it's cheap no matter what, how many shares there are. I'll see. It did go up 22% today, and it has been ripping, but that PR did come out. Of course, I'm going to recommend you wait for a big pullback to enter, but I'll let you decide on what to do on your risk tolerance. I would not be backing the truck up totally on this one, but if you want some exposure to this space, I think this would be a good one because you're getting the new mining and the recycling all in one. Pretty neat. We're going to move on from now and talk about Mr. Chamath Palihapitiya, IPOE. He tweeted today, we talked about him influencing people with his sales skills. He said, we think we've found a way to allow you to participate. We have disruptive spin on syndices. Oh yeah, what we need to get to here, it says, details to come in Q1, but I'm very excited about what's planned. Meanwhile, you may start to see a bunch of announcement of deals we've done recently. What does it say to me? In Q1, we're going to hear some of the deals that he's been working on for the IPOEs and the IPOFs. Okay. So just watch it. I'm sure these are going to still try to be creeping around and going up. I don't know. I just still don't want to do what's called overpaying for something that's not something. There's so many plays out there right now. I have a hard time spending around $12 on a common share that isn't totally rock solid, already had a banging rumor or something like that. You can get stuff that's already LOI'd for around $12 right now. Some EV stuff. I don't know if I'd be spending $12 on something that could be another retirement home. Regardless, I think these are decent parks for your money. IPOE, it's the bigger one, goes up the ladder a little bit. But just be careful with this guy, you know, what he says and stuff. The directions, he seems to be kind of scattered and not always going by what he claims to do. So just keep that with a grain of salt. DSG, Global Inc. subsidiary Imperium Motors, begins receiving shipments of electric vehicles from their partners Zhongwei Automotive and Skywell Automobile Group, all to arrive by the end of the year. Y'all remember this one? We get electric SUVs, that's luxury and nice. We get an electric truck. The electric truck will cost less than the American gas trucks. Yes, I said that right. Isn't that crazy? If I had to put a price point on that, under 40 grand, I'm guessing 39.9, 35, something like that, for a 100% EV truck. The SUV, I believe, is going to be around 50,000, about half the price of the Tesla SUV, wherever that puts us, maybe 55-ish. It's nice. If you haven't seen our videos on them, definitely go check it out. This is a great press release. These guys are good at putting out more information, keeping us in the loop. I like this. Is this going to be a new Tesla? No way. XBEV? No. I don't think so at all. But the price reflects that. We still don't have much to go on as far as like videos in America and all that. But we've got videos. We've got pictures of everything. By all means, this is legit. Zhongwei is legit. They have all these things. They've even got buses. Remember that? We even have city buses that they're done. They're on their way. They're fully done. They're not trying to construct them maybe down the line. They got to get here. They are just waiting. Once they get here, then they can send them off to get the final test things done, which could take up to 6 weeks, right? So like USA can say, yes, we sign off. Everything is legit. Sounds to me like everything's done. They just need that last signature, which can take up to 6 weeks. But regardless, here pretty soon, we're going to start getting more updates, more pictures, more videos of these things. I've had people confirm on the street that this place does exist. I've checked it myself. It's there, their sales floor. They're planning on expanding all over the United States and Canada. They're working with other dealers. They're not going to open up their own dealership. They're just going to take someone's existing dealership and say, hey, can we plant a couple vehicles there, try to sell them? Give you a cut? Sure. Pretty interesting. Remaining 2 weeks of 2020 arrival dates are set. The shipments are anticipated to arrive in the ports of Fairfield and San Francisco, California. Due to demand with our electric vehicle products, Imperium Motors placed 2 more large orders to include the Zhongwei Terra V truck, which is pretty cool looking. The Skywell buses, big, huge city buses, all electric, already done, and a variety of 3- and 4-wheel vans and trucks. They've got all sorts of like mini car thingies, golf carty things. It's pretty neat. In addition, a large container of Rover electric bikes. These are actually pretty rad. I want one of these. It's like a little, it looks like a beefy BMX bike. Like it's got big old wide tires, but it's electric and it just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. I want one. The first shipment of the Skywell SUVs will arrive in the United States and Canada within the next 2 weeks, folks. As the demand for electric vehicles continues to ramp, we have increased our orders and to anticipate this trend to ramp up even greater through 2021. Rick Curtis, president of Imperium Motors, said, we are also beginning to hire seasoned personnel in all capacities to begin employment in Q1 of 2021. I just like how it's like now, right? It's not 5 years. Well, we'll have a battery done in 5 years, maybe. Okay. Moving on. Force family office of Roth Capital to host EV systems with industry innovations. What is this? It's a big party for the new EV people. Uve XL Fleet, Beam, Lordstown Canoe, the Lion Electric Company, Roth Capital, Force Wealth. What is this big old party? If you want to sign up for it, come here, click on this link. It'll take you to sign up. Pretty sweet. We got to check that out. We got to record it. Keep me up to date. That way I don't miss it. I'll try to record it. Bark, a leading brand for dogs to list on the NYSE through merger with Northern Star Acquisition Corp. You know, we hit our Patreons with this last night. I don't know what, like 8 p.m. or something. So we're all geared up, ready to go on this one. Dude, this SPAC has not even split yet. It hasn't even been 52 days past from the start. The warrants and the commons aren't even out yet. It's still in unit phase, and we've already got a release. Official. And I like it too. I think this is great for SPACs. This is something fantastic. If we can get the Chewy people, y'all heard of the Chewy stock buying pet supplies online. If we can get 5% of those people into Bark, this ticker here, this could be something huge. Don't believe me? Go look at Chewy stock. Bark serves over 1 million dogs monthly through BarkBox and Super Chewer subscriptions and broad retail distribution of its comprehensive suite best-in-class proprietary products. This is like goodies for your puppy. How the sales? They're going like this. How are the searches? They're going like this. Beginning of December, we had this. All right. All, let's call it luxury items, even for pets and all that, they all look basically the same. All right. TVs, electronics are doing the opposite, though. They're one of the only things right now that are going up. Christmas. That's why. Puppy's still going to be getting stuff. I could see this still recovering, but there comes a point where you realize you only have Miss Smith and Mr. Smith only have so much money in the bank account because they haven't been working for 9 months. And they might have to not give Puppy the Bark Box this month. Something along those lines. And that's just for new searches, right? That's not for people in it. Those are just the searches, the details I've looked at. It wasn't a huge dip. I'd say maybe like a 15%, 10, 12% dip in the amount of searches. It totally makes sense, though. People aren't focused on buying more stuff for their dogs. They're focused on kids, nephews, aunts, all that stuff. Top stocks trending today. Tesla. Is this freight train ever going to stop? I don't see why it would. Where else are you going to get better interest on your money? Not any sort of bank account or fund, right? It's not going to happen. Neo Moderna, of course. How about this? Number 6, GBTC Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I suggest not buying this one. If you want to get Bitcoin, this is a bad way to buy it. Go down in the description and click on the link that we got down there. I get you Bitcoin a lot less for a lot less money. These people kind of rip you off. But regardless, why do I personally care about this? More exposure, more hype to Bitcoin. Huge. These people don't even know it. They're overpaying for Bitcoin, and it's in the 6th rank of all things bought today. Plantar, of course, number 8. Who do we have? None other than Mara. Marathon Patent Group. Ah, yes. One of the not cool subjects we have brought up for the past months and months and months. They're now cool. They're ranked number 8. If you would have got in when they weren't cool with us, you would have been 4x right now. I think we're about 4xing our money. Take a look at the chart. It's pretty incredible. Roku, Amazon, of course, the big boys. 15 is X-SPAC and DraftKings. Pretty incredible. TQQ, people going up. Betting the QQQ is going to go up. Big tech. MP Minerals. Previous SPAC, number 19. Sold more today than Microsoft. A Chamath. Chamath was piped this one. Remember that? And he pumped it on Twitter a couple times. Why I decided to invest in this. Remember that? Or how about Riot? Another one we were talking about way before it was cool. I think we're at like 2 or 3 or X multiply on that money. How about BITW? This is a top 10 crypto fund. This one's awesome. I haven't even heard about this one. Other than today, one of our patrons let me know about it. This one's sweet. I wish I knew about it back when we were talking about the other ones. But this is an awesome one. This one actually went down 33% today. Why? Because it has been parabolic. 4, 5, 600%, right? 6%, 600%. Huge. 6x in your money. XBEV, doing good. It's just good to see SPACs and Bitcoin, Digicoins in there. Got asked the MPA ticker, is it a yay or a nay? Should I buy it or not? That's up to you. I personally like the company. It's going to be one of those like value companies though, right? They're going to have the numbers. They're going to be there, but I think the best way to explain it is how many part manufacturers can you name in a Mercedes-Benz? I can't name any. I can name 0. Can you name any? What's my point? This isn't a Mercedes-Benz. It's not a Fisker. It's not even a Corvette. It's just the little computer parts in it. What I'm getting at is I don't think that most retail investors are going to be looking or even searching for the company who makes electronics for all electric vehicles. They just want the electric vehicle. They want the Tesla. They don't necessarily care who makes the guts. Even though it could be a good company, it's just not got the cool factor. It doesn't mean that this thing won't do well. Just I wouldn't be seeing this thing 10xing, right? I don't see it going as fast and as hard, as much volatility, momentum as a lot of electronic vehicle companies. Oddly, to me, the charging sector is doing insanely well, even better than a lot of electric vehicles. So you never know. Are chargers cool factored? I don't think they are. I don't know how those really caught on and got better performing than the electronic vehicles themselves, but they are. Regardless, right now, as it stands, I don't think this one is really going to be hyping too hard. I think it'd be a decent place to park some money. It could, right? If we get some of the value guys in here, value's not necessarily bad. It's just another outlook, a way to look at stuff, right? If you do get the value guys in here and they start seeing this huge profit in an undervalued company, et cetera, and they see it can grow, it will have growth to it. This could be a hidden golden unicorn, like we like to call them, kind of a mix of both. I just don't see it going parabolic for a cool factor. Even though we got the LiDAR stuff too, the LiDAR stuff's gone parabolic, this could. But it hasn't been proven yet, right? LiDARs have, electronic vehicles have, chargers have, but not the guts yet. This would be the first one of the guts plays that would do well. So I'm watching it. I won in it. I was in it. I don't know if I'm in it right now. I trade like a robot. I set up robots to trade for me, right? I was in it. I could be not right now. I don't know. I haven't looked. Regardless, I hope it does very well. Just don't back up the truck on it. Coinbase. I'm happy and sad at the same time. Coinbase prepares to launch initial public offering. Boo-hoo. The exchange has submitted the Form S-1 to the SEC, which means that the company will likely go public soon. So, Coinbase, this is kind of a middleman, buy here, pay here for crypto. This is like the one I was telling you about earlier. You can get down in the description. The one I've got is still better than this one as far as you keeping money and storing it and all that. You get better deals. But regardless, why am I bringing this up? Many people have been hoping that maybe this would get brought to market via SPAC, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. You know, unless Ackman call them up and be like, all right, we'll get you the extra $1 billion. Let's do it. Hopefully he sees this and this scares him enough to give him a call and be like, all right, Coinbase, let's do it. We'll merge you with Chuck E. Cheese and it'll be the first and best golden unicorn of all time. That's what I'm hoping. I just don't know. As we've talked about before, these new IPOs and stuff that are bangers, like Coinbase is going to be a banger, these guys are going to lose millions and millions of dollars by going IPO versus SPAC. I hope they hear this, and I hope they reconsider SPAC. Please help me share this video to them. Good information, though, because it's just going to give more love to crypto. So if you're in any of the crypto stuff, this will synergize it. It's going to fly. It's going to fly with it. This means that the exchange is preparing to launch the IPO. The IPOs are uncommon in the blockchain industry, which is true, but not entirely unheard of, especially among mining companies. So right there, we're talking about the mining companies. Those are the ones we were talking about earlier. Any other plays or news that I missed? I'm sure I missed some, but I've been just throwing them out like crazy to the patrons and over to our Discord that we have now. If you want to join that, please do it. It definitely helps out. If you haven't subscribed, you got to do that.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.